Imagine, if you will, a planet with an atmosphere not of oxygen or nitrogen, but of psychedelic gases. A wild thought, isn't it? But let's entertain this idea for a moment. Picture a celestial body much like our own, yet so vastly different. Its skies a swirling kaleidoscope of colors, not from the scattering of light, but from the very air itself. Breathe in, and your senses are overtaken by a vibrant symphony of perception, a dance of reality and illusion. The concept may seem straight out of a science fiction novel, yet it's a possibility we can't entirely dismiss. After all, the universe is a vast and mysterious place filled with an infinite array of possibilities. Can you feel the intrigue, the curiosity? It's a tantalizing mystery just waiting to be explored. Now the question arises, how would such an environment impact the life forms and ecosystems that could evolve there? To understand the implications, we must first delve into the science behind psychedelic substances. You might have heard the term psychedelic tossed around, but what does it really mean? The word itself is derived from Greek, where psyche means mind and delos means revealing. Essentially, it refers to mind-revealing substances. These substances, like lysergic acid diethylamide or LSD and psilocybin, the active ingredient in magic mushrooms, have a profound effect on the brain. They work by interacting with serotonin receptors in the brain, specifically the 5-HT2A receptor. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood, sensory perception, and more. When a psychedelic substance binds to this receptor, it can cause an array of effects, from changes in sensory perception to shifts in mood and consciousness. Imagine seeing vibrant colors and intricate patterns, or feeling a profound sense of connectedness to the world around you. That's your brain on psychedelics, but it's not just about what you see or feel. Psychedelics can also stimulate brain regions linked to emotion and memory, leading to introspective or even spiritual experiences. Now consider what might happen if these substances were omnipresent, as in the atmosphere of a planet. The continuous exposure to psychedelic substances might result in life forms that have evolved to metabolize these substances differently, leading to a constant state of altered perception. Perhaps these life forms would have heightened sensory capabilities, or their consciousness might be fundamentally different from ours. They might experience reality in ways we can't even begin to comprehend, with their everyday perception being akin to a psychedelic trip for us. Given these effects, it's intriguing to consider how life forms on a psychedelic planet might evolve. Would they be more empathetic, more in tune with their surroundings, or perhaps more cognizant of the interconnectedness of all life? These are questions that stretch our understanding of life and consciousness, and it's fascinating to ponder them. On Earth, we're used to life as we know it, but on a psychedelic planet, things could be vastly different. Imagine an alien life form breathing in an atmosphere rich in psychedelic gases. The chemicals that we on Earth consider mind-altering might just be their regular Tuesday. The constant exposure to such substances could lead to the evolution of life forms with far more complex neural networks. These organisms might develop heightened senses, their brains wired to perceive a spectrum of colors we can't even fathom, or hear frequencies beyond our comprehension. Their sense of touch could be so refined they'd feel the subtlest shifts in their psychedelic atmosphere. Their reality could be a constant, vivid dreamscape, a world painted with strokes of imagination we can barely conceive. But how would these life forms survive, you ask? Well, evolution has a knack for finding a way. Just as creatures on Earth have adapted to extreme conditions, the deep-sea creatures thriving in crushing pressures, the tardigrades surviving in the vacuum of space, so too might these psychedelic life forms adapt to their unique environment. They could evolve to produce psychedelic substances themselves, their bodies becoming living factories of these mind-bending chemicals. In this way, they could reach a state of equilibrium with their environment, their biology, in harmony with the atmosphere they breathe. And what about communication? On Earth, we use words, gestures, expressions, but on a psychedelic planet, communication might be an entirely different ballgame. These life forms could communicate through complex patterns of colors, or intricate sound waves, or even through the direct transmission of thoughts and emotions. In the grand tapestry of the universe, there's no limit to the possibilities of life. And on a planet bathed in psychedelic gases, life might not just exist, it could flourish in ways we can hardly imagine, creating a vibrant, surreal, and utterly alien world. Life on a psychedelic planet could be something beyond our wildest imaginations. Now let's consider the ecosystems. How would a psychedelic atmosphere shape the world in which these life forms live? Imagine this. The very air that surrounds and envelops everything is psychedelic. This would not only influence the life forms, but also the ecosystems they inhabit. Let's take plants, for instance. In our world, plants photosynthesize light into energy. But what if, on this psychedelic planet, plants could photosynthesize the psychedelic substances in the atmosphere? This could result in flora unlike anything we've ever seen, pulsating with radiant colors and patterns that shift and change in mesmerizing ways. And what about the weather? Could the psychedelic substances in the atmosphere interact with weather patterns? It's possible that storms on this planet wouldn't just be a matter of wind and rain, but a kaleidoscope of colors and patterns swirling in the sky. A psychedelic planet could be a place of unimaginable beauty and complexity. The concept of a psychedelic planet is both fascinating and mind-boggling. It's like a cosmic trip into the unknown, a celestial riddle waiting to be solved. We've explored the science behind psychedelic substances, delving into their potential to alter perception, mood, and cognition. We've pondered how these substances might shape the life forms on such a world, potentially leading to organisms with heightened senses, altered consciousness, and novel ways of interacting with their environment. We've also considered the ecosystems that might evolve under the influence of a psychedelic atmosphere, where even the most basic interactions between organisms could be fundamentally different from what we observe on Earth. Imagine a world where the very air breathes life into a kaleidoscope of colors, a symphony of sounds, and a dance of consciousness. The universe is full of mysteries, and a psychedelic planet could be one of the most intriguing ones. Until we discover such a place, we can only speculate and imagine the wonders it could hold.